Good morning. It is day one of Tome Topple. It's 6:35 in the morning and I'm checking in for the very first time because I'm getting ready to head to work. Now this morning as I was getting ready, I actually listened to something that was not a Tome Topple because I needed to finish the last 65 pages of Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a really interesting read. There's nothing else like it, and a lot of people have said this. It's written in like podcast form for the most part, and then it's a point of view of Sadie and other places of the book. And this is all about two sisters, one who is missing, one who has been murdered, and what all goes on to try to find the missing sister. And the audiobook is so cool. Like, it's all in podcast form, so it seems like a real murder mystery podcast. And so it was really, really enjoyable. I highly recommend it. I did give this 4 stars. But the formatting of it is really cool for a good listen. So when I was finished with that, I did start reading my first Tome Topple book, and that is 9 Perfect Strangers by, it's not Leon. I think they said Leon or something, Moriarty in the audiobook, because once again, this is over 18 hours. I'm 25 minutes in and only 10 pages through the book. So, it's going to take a while to read, but as always with her books, it's a slow start, but I'm hoping it picks up as usual. So this is my adult book. So like I said, headed to work. It is a Friday, and then tonight we're actually going to Lawrence to meet up with my parents to watch the Jayhawks play, which is ironic because I am a K-State fan now because that's where I went to school. But my entire family is Jayhawks fans. I even had to buy a shirt for the occasion, which I'm sure my students will give me a hard time about because I fly the K-State flag in my library. But what can you do? So we're gonna do that, and then it's a weekend with my parents coming back up here, and my grandparents are meeting us to go shopping. So I really don't know how much reading we're gonna get to do in like the breaking up of things with everybody gonna be in town. So I will check in when I can. It may be like a montage film here for a little while, but I will check in for my reading whenever I have a free moment. Anyways, I'm going to head to work, get the day started, because it's gonna be a long one, but it's gonna be a good one. So here we go, day one. It is now 11 o'clock and we just got back from the game. It was a lot of fun. I was kind of nervous about it because it was the last place my parents went to with my brother before he passed away, so like the weekend before he died. And so there's a lot of bittersweet memories because he was a diehard KU fan. But it was good. It was a great atmosphere as always. And we also got to speak to his favorite basketball player who played back in 2005, I believe. He is now a preacher and just a great role model and family man. And for whatever reason, him and my brother kind of found each other and like went out to lunch a few times towards the end of my brother's life. And he actually had opened up to that basketball player about his faith and where he was at with his walk with God. And so that was all great things to hear from him right after he had passed away, because he had not been baptized and it was a sudden death. And so it was just great to hear that reassurance from somebody else that was didn't even know him but could tell that he had that relationship. But that's a whole nother story. Good grief. I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. I did not read any more today. I'm going to try again tomorrow and I will update you then. It is now Sunday night, so it's day 3 of Tome Topple. I've not done much reading at all. Yesterday we went shopping all day from like 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It was crazy. I didn't get a whole lot, but it was still family time, I guess. So did that. And then today we met some of our family friends for lunch at a barbecue place in the city. So that was good. And then spent a lot of time also with my grandparents again. And now I'm just winding down for the night. Gonna turn on an audiobook and do some reading there. Make supper, get ready for the week, which is really just 2 days of school, and then Thanksgiving. So that's exciting. I think I can do this, even though I'm already starting to feel sick. My body always does this to me right before a break. It knows it's finally ready to relax, and then I get sick. But whatever. Also, these brows, I got them microbladed last Sunday, and I am at the stage of where it appears like they completely disappear, and so, yeah, that's what's going on. I feel like I should explain just because I complain about them all the time. But I did get them microbladed, but right now they are healing. Hopefully, you'll get to see the other side of this by the end of next week. We'll see. So, anyways, I'm gonna go fix supper. I'll talk to you later. It is now Monday, and this assortment of things, plus my voice, should tell you how the day has gone so far. Yep, I stayed home sick today. I woke up with a cough and felt like crud. And I took medicine and started to feel better, but I had kind of told myself if they can find me a sub, I will finally take the day and go to the doctor. And I did, so I can get all of that stuff down the hatch and get better. I don't want to give this stuff to people at school before their break, and I don't want to get my family sick when I go home and see them. So, reading-wise, anyways, I have not done much reading. I did read this. I got this at Walgreens, and it was a good magazine. It's been a while since I've read one. For the next hour, I'm going to read some of this, go pick up the dog, then come back, take a hot bubble bath, read some more of a book. Then the Chiefs play tonight. I am definitely going to make like a hot cider concoction to try to clear some more of this out. As long as I don't have a cough, I am going to work tomorrow, so I need to prepare myself for that. But I will check in on how reading is going and all that jazz later. Oh my gosh. What? So the Chiefs just lost, but it was a messy game. It was the highest scoring Monday Night Football game ever. They each had over 50 points. But it gave me plenty of time to finish a book. I finished the last 70 pages of this tonight in the bubble bath, and then like reading during commercials and halftime, a lot of stuff. This is for Nonfiction November, not Tome Topple, but I finished a book, so I'm going to use it for this vlog, because why not? I gave it 4 stars. It's a really interesting read to see how far we've came, and until now, like what people have gotten away with. It's really crazy. So earlier I did read some of this. I'm to page 75 of this book, and now I realize why I don't read a whole lot of tomes. So I'm going to read some more until I fall asleep and start the day tomorrow. Last day before Thanksgiving break. I'm hoping I wake up good enough to go into work, but we shall see. It is now Wednesday morning, and I've been up since 4 o'clock because I had to help get my boyfriend to the airport so he could go to North Dakota, just make sure he was up on time and out the door. And so I just got around after that for the day. I did get extra reading done, so that's great. I finally made it to 110 pages of 9 Perfect Strangers as I was normally getting ready with my hair and makeup and that kind of stuff. So I'm still not sure where this is going. It's like 9 strangers at a tranquility resort for 10 days, checking out of the world for their different reasons. It's multiple points of view, so you're getting to know the characters, but something has got to happen to make this exciting because right now I'm bored. So obviously I had extra time. With the extra time, I started listening and highlighting along with So You Want to Talk About Race. The narrator is Bonnie Turpin, which is my favorite narrator. And I'm to page 22. So the first chapter in the introduction done. This is just going to be a hard read. It's going to be a lot of understanding where other races are coming from, particularly the Black race, which is the author, and just kind of getting to get uncomfortable about white privilege. Even though I'm aware of these things already, I feel like this is something that I could definitely always learn more about and how I can help and be an ally and advocate for change if at all possible. So I'm excited to dig in that one. I know it's going to be hard. Anyways, I am headed to work. I have to go to the library after school. I need to go to the post office to drop off my Stitch Fix rejects because I only kept one thing, which I'll probably show you later. But yeah, I need to get the day started. hopefully I have a voice because I have to teach over 100 children today, and it's the day before Thanksgiving break, so they're going to be maybe a little wild and crazy, maybe a little quiet, who knows, we'll see how the day goes, but I will check in later. So I am going to attempt to update you a little bit with the little voice I have left for today. But obviously I took a bubble bath and read part of my book, and then I listened to the audiobook and worked on the puzzle and then did laundry so I could start getting packed up to head out for Thanksgiving break. And while doing that, I got into page 187 of this book, and I feel like I made a dent now, but I honestly don't know where this is going. I feel like the resort leaders might be up to something, but her books normally have like a crime or a murder, and I don't know where it's going to go. So I'm hoping it's not a dud, but we'll see. So I am going to go pick out the books that I'm taking with me on my trip because I always do that first. I don't know if any of you do that, bookish people, but I always pack my books first because I hate doing the rest of it. So here's what I'm going to take on my trip. Obviously, I'm going to bring along this one to hopefully finish it and then move on to Children of Blood and Bone for Tome Topple. This will be my series book, I think. This came in on audio today, and I definitely want to follow along with it because I am not a high fantasy reader at all, but it is narrated by my favorite narrator, so I definitely want to get into that. And then I'm bringing along 2 books for Nonfiction November, the one I started this morning, as well as Life's Work, A Moral Argument for Choice by Dr. Willie Parker. This is about a Christian pro-choice advocate as well as an abortion clinic doctor, and the character in Jodi Picoult's book is based off of his life work, so I definitely want to read this because I just finished that book. So obviously I have packed more than it is humanly possible to read in 5 days, but I always overpack books and then forget everything else, so why would I do anything different for this trip? But I am going to finish up some laundry and then head to bed. In the morning I'm taking my dog to the center to be boarded, and then finish getting packed and head out for the road. So I'll check in the morning. I've gotten Brady, my dog, off to daycare, or boarding rather. Didn't get a video of him because he was just too excited, but now it is time to feed Spike, our library axolotl, before I hit the road to go back to my parents' house. It is now Thanksgiving Day, so that means it is day 7 of Tome Topple. I finally have finished my first book, and that is 9 Perfect Strangers. I listened to 240 pages on the way back to my parents' house yesterday and finished the last 20 pages here. I think I'm giving it like 2.5 stars. Just wasn't really impressed with the whole premise of the book. The characters didn't really attach to anybody. At the end, they kind of like all come together like as an epilogue style thing, which is fine. The only redeeming factors was like my connection to the grief that a family had because of the loss of a son and a brother. At first, I was like, oh, here we go. Grief shaming for sure. Because his twin sister was turning 21. He died 3 years earlier. And when he died, one of her friends was like, well, at least you weren't too close. Or something like that. And I was like, oh gosh, here we go. The comparison of grief is just not okay. But then I think she kind of realized that that wasn't the truth, like along with the story. And then the mom talking about how she was concerned about her daughter being a leftover child and doing life by herself when she's never done that. And that's the same way I felt about my brother. So there was that connection there. But other than that, it was a dud for me, which was sad because I love her books. Right before bed, I did get 4 pages into Children of Blood and Bone, and then I am now up to chapter 9. It's like 86 pages in. I'm really enjoying this. It's not as high fantasy as I thought it would be, but I'm loving like the talk of magic, and there's a lot of undertones of privilege between like races as well as government. So there might be a lot more to this than I originally thought, and I am really enjoying it. Today, my brother and his family are getting ready to come over, so I'm so excited to see my nieces. Haven't seen them in a while. just hang out. We have Thanksgiving lunch, and my dad has made ribs, so we don't do turkey. We don't like turkey, I guess. And so this year he has made ribs, which are so good. He makes the best ribs. And yeah, just hanging out as a family. Um, Mom and I this morning got in the hot tub, just relaxed, got ready for the day. Um, and I think tomorrow we're doing sugar cookies for Christmas. I don't think we are going to end up traveling to see my grandparents and my great grandmother. Obviously, I'm still sick, and then snow is supposed to be here by Sunday when I'm supposed to drive back home. So I actually have to drive back early, so there won't be enough time to do all of that traveling in between. So I will kind of update more on that later, I guess, and just see what happens throughout the weekend.
Sad, sad, sad. I was gonna be sad, sad.
What'd you say?
I was gonna be sad on this.
Why?
I'll be mad.
Did you make a mess? Who did that? River. What are you doing?
Never had this before. You put the ring in the dirty water.
You can put it in a pot, one of the pot. I have a glass pie thing, and then just put plastic over it.
Skilly rinky dinky dink. Skilly rinky doo. I love you. Skilly rinky dinky dink. Skilly rinky doo. I love you.
It is now 5 o'clock, and I'm going to call it good for the first week of Tome Topple. Hopefully, I have more of a voice tomorrow when we start week 2, and I will do any updating on what I read this evening then. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.
Thank you for coming.